Okay. Hello, hello, hello. So what's up? Okay.
What be on your mind?
I see that Krongar sent his best. Good. We have much work to do. The fist that is the Alliance have entered into a treaty with the Grim Totem. That's surprising. Now we fend off attacks from both forces. We are spread thin across Greatwood Vale, and would soon fall beneath the concerted effort of our enemies. There's only one hope. Voodoo.
Be seeing ya. Stay away from the voodoo.
You just said... No, whatever. With Voodoo, our troops might have a chance at beating back the Grim Totem assault. Interesting. With that being said, I need several ingredients if I'm to invoke the black magic. The first ingredient on my list is a cliff from a heart from a cliff storm. The beasts have been nearly hunted to extinction, but a few still exist around this part.
Spirits be with you, man.
If I'm to invoke voodoo, I need special ingredients. Bring me the horns from the Stonetalon rams of the region. Without the horns, we are done for.
You be careful, man.
Man, I sure hope whatever Alliance person knows what they're doing. I like with the Grim Totem there. Hello, Permeus, Ravenwind, Tecoida, Salty, Sonashi.
Don't be shy.
The troops are hungry, Iron Man. With our supply lines cut off, we're steadily running out of food. I can cook the soldiers a feast, if you get me some ingredients. Head to the woods west of here and get some eggs. Eggs?
Stay away from
eggs.
the voodoo.
We need meat. We can just kill some orcs and toss them onto the fire. I think it'll be good. Green eggs and ham, anyone? So what do you mean, Dakota? About Axel. Oh yeah, let's do a quick test, shall we? You never know, it might be fixed. Would anyone like to volunteer to be banned forever and ever? Hey, Zeiss. Haven't seen you for a bit, although I imagine that's because it's WoW. And hello, Leander. Must kill the eagles. He's too far up. Damn it. Hello, Psychotic. Goodbye, Psychotic. Nope. Still not working. Oh, you mean idiot. Gotcha, Dakota. So why is idiot in MTG? Hello, Zawan. So, just out of curiosity, Zawan, what does your Alliance-loving heart say about the Alliance being coordinating with the Grim Totem? Look, it's fine, Leander. He's a lot stronger than he looks. Okay. You got greedy. You should have gone for the one right next to you. Stupid level 100 Death Knight. Ding, man. We be dinging now. Hey, Darker. Yes, our plugin is still busted. No chat for the third day in a row, and still no response to my attempt at a service ticket. So, yeah. Normally I would have spent some time trying to look into alternate options, but to be completely 100% honest, I have not had time. My days for the last 3 days have been stop streaming, immediately go do RL stuff, and then crash, wake up, and then immediately start doing the stream again. I have had zero spare time since, like, Saturday. Actually, we are not on Pandaria, Zeiss. We are, in fact, in Cataclysm. Hence why we are saying we are in Cataclysm. Right now, we are, I'd say, a third of the way through Kalimdor. Maybe a little bit more than third overall. Since we will be doing several of these zones back-to-back on both sides, technically each of these zones counts as 2 zones for content. But later on, we'll only be doing each zone once, so... In fact, I could give you an exact numbering if you really want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right now we're basically 8 zones in, and we have a total of 9, 10, 11, 20 zones to do in Kalimdor. Total. See, so what you're telling me, Zawan, is you're evil, and you're okay with allying with other evil people. Is that what I'm understanding? Especially when those evil people are complete dicks to you. God, they really were, too. That was just... Wow. The casual arrogance of the Grim Totem. We will allow your alliance to move through our lands, but nothing more. Also, your face smells. Okay, they didn't say that last part, but still. Hello, Kandapan. Good morning. Oh, by the way, guys, I apologize for my severe death yesterday. My allergies have started kicking my ass. Don't worry, I took some loratadine this morning, so hopefully we'll be okay. And if we're not, well, then I'm screwed. What the... Oh, right, I know what that quest is. Interesting, Dakota. So it's like Axel, but without the whiny attitude, is what I'm hearing. By the way, Zeiss, I'm sorry I haven't actually updated the forum. If it's not obvious by my statement about how I've literally had 0 time over the last 3 days, I haven't had time to actually think about your post at all on the forum. That isn't an just an exception, Wraith? Of course I enjoyed FF12. FF12 is an amazing game. We do know that there are Worgen who were not completely feral, who were not Gilneans, because our Death Knight is one of those. Our Death Knight was... excuse me, our Death Knight was one of those individuals who was not a Gilnean, was one of the original ones working for Erugal, and was freed by them, so it's not that hard to do. See, that only applies if the trolls are hideously evil bastards, Zawan, which we don't know about, so I'll give you that point. But we do, for a fact, know the Grim Totem are hideously evil bastards who are arrogant little snots. I'm surprised your pride can take working with those guys.
How you doing, man?
I need the eggs. Thank you.
Okay.
These should get us through the week.
You come get the voodoo. Be seeing ya.
Turn these in.
Stay away from the voodoo.
The final ingredient for the voodoo ritual is a special type of crystal called resonite. It can be found in the Boulderslide caverns west of here. Beware the kobolds. They guard the resonite with their lives.
Be seeing ya.
I will never play on that server, no, Candapon. I have no interest in vanilla.
We will
I actually had a
persevere.
long discussion about that yesterday. Yeah, it would appear we are running out of big, stupid orcs to send at the enemy. This is a problem. Thankfully, I have a solution. Take this whip and head west to the Boulder Slide Cavern. Within the cave, you will find a filthy nest of kobolds. Use my whip to subdue the beasts.
We will have justice.
I suppose nothing's a one. Other than, you know, the fact that you're... I guess nothing, so... There you go, there's your options. You can kill the Grim Totem after you've killed us. But I'm sorry, you're never going to be able to convince me that the Alliance allying with the Grim Totem is just pragmatism. Because it's the Grim Totem. It's like the Alliance one day were like, you know, we feel like allying with the Royal Apothecary Society. Not the Forsaken as a whole. Just the Royal Apothecary Society. Like, that's the level of evil that we've got in the frickin' Grim Totem. And I remind you, the Royal Apothecaries don't even exist anymore because we killed them. Along with you. You obviously killed Putris. Alright, let's be getting some Resonite. I suppose they might not have. I really don't know, honestly. I am still surprised that the Alliance was willing to work with them, given how incredibly casually arrogant the Grim Totem were. I mean, this is a dwarf we're talking about. He's like, oh yeah, we'll totally take these people constantly bad-mouthing us. Wow. So you ally with the Grim Totem, and we subjugate the kobolds in response. Oh, crap. I need more crystals. Now, Zawun would like to paint him the fact that the Alliance are completely 100% innocent in this zone, but I'm sorry, I just can't see it that way. This whole zone is about how both sides are just really messed up when it gets really dirty and dark and war, you know? This whole zone is probably one of the darkest zones overall in Cataclysm, in my opinion. Just, yeah. Which sound effect, Dakota? I don't know about you, Leander. I would never eat a Grim Totem burger. Those bastards can just go away. Let them have their own world, with blackjack and hookers. I'm okay with that, as long as it has nothing to do with mine. Just, ugh. Plugin's broken, Katebo, and I haven't had time to look into a solution. An alternate solution, I should say. Guess I could do that while I'm traveling. Try to fill it into the cracks of my time. Let's see. We could always go back to the red, the red text one, which looks terrible and everyone hates. The one that hasn't been updated in 2 years now. Let's see, when was this one updated? 2 years ago. Anyways.
Victory lies ahead.
Oh, you're talking about the... Which is actually the same sound effect it's been since Warcraft 2, actually. In times of crisis, a desperate act may be all that is needed to secure victory. The kobolds are dying on my face. Anyways, sending a swarm of kobolds at the enemy may be the edge we need to win. We now need to command the kobold armies of Stonetalon. It almost sounds impressive. Almost. The Alliance base camp north of here is tightly guarded, nigh impregnable, save for the entry point by the unearthed grounds northeast of here. Take the kobold war horn and head there. Enter from the east. Once there, use the horn to unleash the kobold upon the Alliance.
The reckoning is at hand.
How you do it, man?
I need your resonite crystals. Finally! Now create a charm that will hold the voodoo enchantment. It's done. Time to test it out. Travel to the main point of conflict within the Great Wood Vale, and use the voodoo stick on the Cromgar marauders battling the Grim Totem. My voodoo magic should renew the vigor, allow them to crush the enemies.
Spirits be with you.
I do love this kind of dichotomy. So the Alliance armed the Grim Totem with Grand Marshal level weapons, really, really high quality weapons. The Horde empower their soldiers with a literal voodoo enchantment that gives them significant power. It makes me wonder if the ingredients in this are the cost involved. Because this is fairly basic standard wild/Loa magic. And again, it makes me wonder if the cost is just in the items that were made in the construction of it. Because otherwise this is really messed up, and I would probably never do this. But then again, I gotta be honest, my characters, none of them, and well, that's not true. All but one of my characters would never actually go through these quests anyways, because these quests are messed up. On both sides, as I pointed out earlier. Stonetalon is messed. For the Horde.
How you doing, man?
All the trolls that we're interacting with here are Darkspear trolls. At least they should be. Hey Dirch, plugin's broken, blah blah blah. Have you not been on for the last 3 days? It's been broken for a bit now. I'm sorry. I'm not being like, oh, where you been, man? I thought you'd actually been on here since it's broken. And there isn't really a good alternative option for that. We tried something else and it didn't work. And everybody hated it. And apparently the only other frickin' plugins they've got for OBS haven't been updated in literally years. It makes me wonder if people are just not producing plugins for OBS anymore or something, you know? Despite the fact that OBS itself is being regularly updated. I don't know. Well, I agree, Zuwan. But no, in lore, these should all be Darkspear trolls. Okay. We have aided in the battle. We won't be killing any Grim Totem ourselves because, well, to be perfectly frank, because we're on a timer deadline situation here. Get out of combat. Ah, frellet. Fine. Fine. Let's kill some Grim Totem. Hi. I'm a brewmaster. Anyone else? Anyone? Come on. Come on. Come to my fist. Goddamn Grim Totem. That's more? Okay. I can kill more of you. That's alright. I'm always okay with killing Grim Totem. So anyways. So here's an interesting little bit of theoretical for you guys. Did you know that this was actually the, in the long ago, before Warcraft 3 happened, this was the old, this was what was considered the border between Tauren lands and Night Elf lands. Stonetalon Mountains and the peaks in general. Whatever. I'm not going to kill him, he's a quest NPC. I'd love to, but quest NPC. Means I'm just going to have to ride by him. Don't aggro me. Okay. And it kind of goes to show just how widespread and prolific the Tauren actually were back in the day. And it also is kind of funny in its own right, because, oh hey, kobolds. Why am I flagged? Whatever. Anyways, it just kind of shows how widespread the Tauren were once upon a time. Since that means this was basically Night Elf lands up here, and this was Tauren lands down here. And, yeah, I find it funny because they've just kind of slowly been losing their ground ever since, until the orcs came along and basically saved them from extinction. As I've mentioned, no, that's not another player's. That was I'm not 100% sure what flagged me. I'm guessing it was because I walked through the Alliance town somewhere along the line. And then a level 100 guard came along and was like, boop. And he did this, and I exploded. The other thing I find interesting, though, is that for many, many years, there has this place, Stonetalon Peak specifically, in the caves within, has been known to be a haven spot for the Oracle. If you don't understand why that's weird, I can explain rather simply. Remember, the Oracle as we saw it was actually Medivh. Medivh is a recent addition to the setting, and yet for some reason, the Taurens and the Night Elves, both of them, have records of the Oracle going back a long time before Medivh was ever even born. Now, you can argue that left to right, and indeed, we don't know the 100% truth of how exactly that works. So, there's, in my opinion, there's two options here. Option one, it's a plot hole. You know, they were just doing it to build up suspense. Oh, the Oracle's been here for ages and ages. Psych, it's just Medivh. Or option two, all of the Guardians of Tirsifal have been the ones who have taken that position as Oracle, which I actually like that idea because, given the entire purpose of the Guardians of Tirsifal, it would make sense to me that they have actually been active in Kalimdor for some time. What does not make sense to me is why they would not share that information with anyone else, since Kalimdor was considered just a rumor at best. So if the Guardians have been regularly, warrior, Gandapon, if the Guardians had been regularly coordinating with the Night Elves and the Taurens, why did they never say anything about that to anyone, you know? So, pretty much no matter how you look at it, it's kind of a plot hole. It just depends on which flavor of plot hole you prefer.
Baladash, Malanore.
Fascinating tale, my friend. It would seem our kobold allies might be useful, after all.
Salama Ashalanore.
No. I gotta be honest, right now, I'd put more money on Khadgar being the Guardian than anyone else.
Relax.
Victor at last. It stands to reason that without a stable supply line, this victory be short-lived. Enjoy it while it lasts.
You be careful, man.
Return now to Overlord Cromgar, inform him of our status, and what you've done to ensure Malakjin does not fall. I thank you for all you've done. Maybe someday you'll have your own region to command. Ha! Yeah, right. Next thing you'll say, I'm gonna get a garrison or something in the future.
Stay away from the voodoo.
Because technology, Fuke. And please don't ask the gun question. It's become something of a hot-button topic. I don't know, Wraith. I've never heard of anything like that. Let's get rid of that PvP flag. Ugh. Anyone remember back in the day when you could force someone else to flag by tricking them? Especially if you're a hunter. And then in so doing, like, there were regular strategies for dropping PvP flags. Like, we'd be going into a raid, it's like, hang on, hang on. And of course, when one person is PvP flagged in a raid, it spreads like AIDS. That's actually what we called it back in the day. We called it AIDS. Because one person would be PvP flagged, and someone would buff them or heal them, and then it would spread. And someone would buff or heal them, and it would spread. It actually got so bad at one point in time that we made coming into a raid with a PvP flag a kickable offense. Not in my guild. That was the guild I run. I've never had that problem. It was with one of the guilds I was a part of. As I say, Egwin was alive for a long time. She only died very recently. Kandapon already answered you, warrior.
Blood and thunder.
Really, Zawan? I was not aware of that specifically, no. Loktar Ogar, you are the embodiment of what it means to be a Horde soldier. If only we had more like you, this war would be over, and Kalimdor would belong to the Horde. Uncontested. Rise now as champion of Kromgar. Champion, we have acquired a new target. Our scouts in Battlescar Vale report the Night Elves are preparing a weapon of mass destruction and hiding it within an ancient tree. They will never be given a chance to use their weapon upon us. You are to escort the bomb to the Sludge Works for refueling, and then to Cliffwalker Post. From there we will detonate the bomb and kill our enemies. Go now.
Victory!
Hey, Doc. Damn it, so the Alliance have their own weapon of mass
What do you
destruction.
need?
It all makes sense now.
For the Horde!
Well, like I said, Permius, it was getting really bad for us. There were a few people who would regularly, consistently show up as PvP flag, and it just slowed everything down. For those of you not aware of why that was an issue, other than the obvious irritation, so let's say you've got a totem down, and you're PvP flagged. Your totem would not affect the people who are not PvP flagged. Similarly, if you do an AoE ability, or like Tranquility or Wild Growth or whatever, it wouldn't automatically target people who were of the opposite flag of you, right? So it actually affected the performance of the raid. Everyone needed to be flagged or not flagged, and those were our options. So, yeah. I forget all the abilities. There were a few abilities that it would affect. Auras, too, I think, for paladins. Arg. We... I suppose there's a third option with the Oracle thing that literally just occurred to me. I suppose it is possible that there was some kind of ancient Oracle, before Medivh, and Medivh just kind of took his place for the purposes of Warcraft 3. And actually, when I think about it, that actually makes a large degree of sense, since, Hey, Night Forger. The point there would be, that Medivh knew he really needed to get everyone's attention, so he wanted to portray himself as someone who was already venerated and well respected so that they would listen to him. And maybe that's, how that worked out. I don't know. I'm just spitballing at this point.
What's up?
Kromgar sent us champion. Ta! We haven't a thing to worry about, champion. We'll get that fuel balloon all fueled up in no time. don't you land handy around you wait while here while you wait. We got a little problem. We built the sludge works near a wyvern habitat. Now our initial blueprint for the sludge works was drawn up so as to not disturb the wyvern habitat. And they're apparently sacred to Tarns and Orcs. Now, you know what's not sacred to me? Not getting pooped on. Between you and me, the wyverns must die.
Keep it real.
Wow. I mean, I know getting pooped on sucks, but that's your response, is to murder the opponent? We must kill all of the birds in New York. It's the only way. I'd make a shale comment, but I think you get the idea. I've been a streamer for about 4 years now, give or take. I think we're actually approaching the 5-year mark this August. Where are... Ha! Here we go. No? Where are the frickin' wyverns? Wyverns. Don't tell me some Alliance player has already been killing these for the Horde. For the Alliance. Execute Order 66. All wyvern birds. I guess wyvern. All birds must be destroyed. You know, knowing the Taurens, that actually wouldn't surprise me, Permeus. I suppose I need to keep remembering that the chat isn't on the screen. Permeus just commented how apparently being pooped on by the wyverns is good luck. Where the hell are all the wyverns? I keep hearing someone de-stealthing around me. It's getting disturbing, frankly. Oh yeah, I just had a ding too. Shoot. Let's go ahead and get the ding over here. So, God. Well, how else are they going to keep things festive? I mean, seriously. This would be a good spot for one. Gotta keep the bomb in the background there. I do not have an extra job. No, this is my prime job. And if I was going to college, then holy crap. I mean, I guess I have nothing against... not to make fun of people who go to college in their older years, but damn. No, I got college out of the way years and years ago. That would be kind of cool, actually, to go to. Hey, Nerozaz. So, I just feel like sharing something, and I really apologize for this. Just a second, there we go. So last night, I went to this burger joint, and yes, Nero's, yeah. I don't have a lot of other options here. Wait, what's this? Interesting. Anyways, went to this burger joint, local place, and they had stuffed burgers. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, whatever. I've heard. No, you don't understand. This was stuffed with this really special kind of boulevard cheese that was melted and amazing, and also the burger itself was about this thick, tall. Here, up against my head for a little bit of reference. And was very large and completely filled with whatever fixings you wanted to put on it. And it was like heaven in a bun. And I just wanted to share that because it was like the most amazing thing ever. It is so rare that I can find a stuffed burger that's actually good. Last time I've actually had one like that was in Vegas. And for those of you not aware, Vegas may be famous for gambling and all other sorts of things. But for me, the thing I'll always remember about Vegas is the food. I have family who lives in Vegas, so I actually used to visit Vegas very regularly through a lot of my growing up years. And yeah, there's really good food in Vegas. Think of it this way, the general quality level is like a buffet at Vegas is about like a restaurant in other places. If you actually go to a restaurant in Vegas, it's way better than the other ones.
Talk to me.
I sure hope you didn't miss any. I don't think I can take much more of this. We got another problem. Alliance spies are all over the place. You haven't seen any? That's because they's invisible. Cloaked. I got a solution, but I need muscle like you to go out there and follow through on my plan. Use this gas bomb on the spies, and once revealed, send them to their maker.
Glad I could help.
Okay. So, Twitch, I've actually tried to get a partnership with Twitch to get a subscription and thing, and Twitch has repeatedly told me that I am too inconsequential and too small time and too irrelevant for their methods, so yeah. Quite a few Nero's has. Although the same can be said of most actual races. Overall, the Steam Weedle cartel, it actually governs most of what we tend to interact with. There's also, of course, the Venture Company. And so we've got the major factions. We've got the Steam Weedles, the Bilgewaters, the Venture Company, and then there's the Black Fuses, which are actually a separate organization. I believe there's another big one I'm missing. No, maybe not. Yeah, I guess those are actually the three really big ones. What was which called, Doc? Nobody, sorry. Although, if you want me to recommend a specific place for you to go for food, there's a casino called the M. I forget what the M actually stands for. Me and my family have been calling it M for a long time. I actually have a few M shirts because we get them for free from there. Anyways, they have a really, really good buffet. I'd say it's probably the second or third best buffet in Vegas right now. It's not too expensive. The best buffet in Vegas is really expensive, but it's kind of worth it. Also, if you find yourself going to the Orleans, which is the name of the casino, you will find quite a bit of good food and good buffet and a very, very series of nice restaurants in there. That's what's popular, Doc. Semi-recently, I was actually talking with someone who was much, much younger than I, a family friend, and he was 13, I want to say, and he found out that I streamed for a living. Well, I do online for a living. YouTube is actually technically more of my income than Twitch. But anyways, so he was like, dude, awesome. And he started sharing some of the other things that he loved seeing on streams. And I just slowly started to realize that kids like him were one of the reasons why people like PewDiePie are so incredibly popular, and people like me are not. Because every single thing he listed was, oh, I love those reaction videos, and I love those videos where they just kind of scream and yell and curse, and they're, oh god, it's so funny listening to them constantly cuss each other out while they're playing, Call of Duty or whatever, and I'm just like, oh god. I'm getting old.
Time is money, friend!
And they call me crazy. I knew this place was crawling with spies. Poop too. Overlord Cromgar sent word from the base. You're to get back on the Cromgar air balloon and take it to Cliffwalker Post. From there to plans to unleash it on the Alliance at Battlescar Valley. You better get going. It's not wise to keep Cromgar waiting.
Hurry back!
Yahtzee and Sterling are in a completely different category from what I'm referring to. Seriously, PewDiePie is the definition of the type of entertainment I'm referring to as. By the way, for reference, I do not have anything against PewDiePie personally. He actually is a pretty cool guy from what I understand. His show makes me want to vomit, though. Good morning, Spawn Carnage. No, it's fine, Derzes. It's a fully functional device. You can tell because the dripping oil coming out of the cans that's feeding the fuel line there. And never mind the rockets. Explosive right by an open fire is excellent design. I like how the flight path here is literally a rocket, by the way. It's a nice touch. Okay, where's... Your claims are outrageous, General. The only thing you will find at Thaldera Grove are terrified young druids. They have no weapons of mass destruction. Careful, Torin. Your words can be construed as treason. My scouts inform me the Grove holds a powerful weapon. A weapon the Alliance will use against us if they are not stopped. Furthermore, I am here by the authority of Overlord Cromgar, who himself was appointed by War Chief Garrosh Hellscream. You will do his bidding or suffer the consequences. As an aside, I really wish we could have the totem weapons finally. I have sent my boy to Thaldera Grove to fetch your proof. You will soon see they pose no threat to us. Why don't we find out from the Alliance perspective? That sounds fairly normal to me, Permeus. Every artist ever has that exact same problem. Whatever made them famous is not necessarily what they want to do for the rest of their life. Look at a lot of the really famous musicians and bands who got really, really famous on this one song or this one musical style that they didn't actually enjoy doing, and they didn't actually want to do, you know?
I am honored.
I am assuming you saw the Cromgar hot air balloon. If not, get your eyes checked. It's hovering right over the oil platform. Murkfallen Lake is crawling with horde. The goblins have set up shop, and they aren't going to leave until the oil into the Stonetalon is sucked dry. Thankfully, I have a gnome on the inside that's been collecting information for us. If anyone knows what's going on with that bomb, it's inside it's my inside gnome. Make your way to the sludge works north of here and find Minx. Hey, I remember Minx. Yep, another quest.
You need something?
Ah, goblins. What would this world be like without goblins? I'll tell you what, clean! Those filthy little scum suckers have planted their oil pumps all over the lake with the hope of extracting every last drop of oil that exists in Stonetalon. At each oil pump, they've stationed an oil pump controller whose job it is to watch the pump and make sure nothing goes wrong. Something's about to go wrong. Take the goblin pump controllers and use their pump controls. Make them overload.
See you around.
Have you ever seen a hobgoblin? They're another vile goblin creation. You just take a goblin, make it uglier, fatter, bigger, and stupider, you have a hobgoblin. Add all that a nasty mean streak, and we've got a problem. These lumbering oafs wandering the Sludworks and Murkfallen Lake are acting as muscle to the goblins.
Safe travels.
I don't know. The funny thing is, gnomes are cleaner, but actually more destructive. Really. I know, Takoida. That orc, well, he will deserve his fate. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Druid. I had to remember my class for a second. Oh god, orbital support shredders. They've got orbital support shredders. Crap. I don't think they do, dog. Oh, no kidding, Permeus. By the way, not that I want to get into another Alliance versus Horde argument, but I will fully say that even my own perspective on, you know, I don't think that's the most effective way to destroy these things. I mean, whatever. Even from my own, you know, we all need to get along, let's coordinate with each other perspective. The goblins don't really fit into that because of how incredibly wasteful they are. As I discussed earlier, their whole cultural mindset is basically, screw tomorrow. We've got today. And it's understandable why, given their incredibly short lifespans. But that's not really conducive towards cooperation with other races, you know what I mean? I mean, the way they chew through resources is a little bit crazy. Remember, on the Horde, we already have a resource shortage problem. So... gotta love that sound. But yeah, the goblins and the Taurens getting along is just another example of, well, they're part of the Horde, so live with it. We've seen a bunch of that, actually, throughout the games. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they should actually get along together. They're part of the same teams. There you go. Yeah, Takoida, I wasn't going to bring the real-life reality of that, but yeah, I can't imagine. I personally can't imagine that setting fire to oil fields is really the best possible solution for dealing with oil fields. Oh god, Permeus, you're right. We might just get to see some real Fellwalkers in Legion. Not those piddling toys we were fighting back in Outland. That's a good question, Zoan. Zoan asks how they choose who becomes a Hobgoblin. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check something on that really quick. Because I thought it wasn't a choice thing. Oh, that's why. Because I was... Right. So, the whole they're converted from existing goblins thing comes from the RPG book, which may or may not be canon. But to my knowledge, nothing has ever contradicted that, so I suppose we'll treat that as canon for the time being. Like, I was under this impression that certain goblins were basically born not goblin-y because of their volatile nature as a species, and because of the fact that the goblins themselves are kind of a mutation. And so certain goblins are just born, and so they take those ones and turn them into hobgoblins. But I don't remember where I'm getting that from, to be completely honest. By the way, this is the best disguise ever. Look at that! It's clearly a goblin.
Yo!
She even has a goblin voice actor. Get in here and hug a wall. I can't risk blowing my cover. Okay. Listen, I've been tracking this bomb ever since you rescued me in Ashenvale. Whatever they're doing with it is going to happen real soon. The top of the large oil rig is a control room. Inside that, you'll find a Kromgar logbook. The logbook is the key to where the bomb's heading. Get up there and get that logbook. Bring it back here and I'll decipher it for you.
Glad I could help.
Alright, Night Forager, you have just mentioned Rick Berman in my presence. You know the punishment. Of course, I can never pop my... Ah, there we go. You know the punishment for such an atrocity. I can never pop my knuckles on command. I can only do it when I don't want to. So you mean, what if the original goblin things were actually trogs that the trolls were enslaving? That would be really, really horrifyingly funny. So it would mean we have Earthen, who are horribly mutated and warped by the curse of flesh, who are horribly mutated by Kajamite, which we're pretty damn sure is an old god thing, into goblins. That might make goblins the most mutant creature in the setting, with the possible exception of the Naga.
What's up?
Did you grab their logbook?
Oh no, they plan to test the bomb at Thaldera Grove. That's the school for young druids located in the heart of Battlescar Valley. You've got to return Barris with his information. Master Thaldera must be warned. Run! Get out of here! Get back to Barris, inform me what you discovered. It's not too late to save those druids.
Keep it real.
Hang on. I think we should get a picture with this excellent, and I mean excellent, goblin disguise. Not if I have anything to do about it. Well, personally, I'm rather fond of hamburger pepperoni and extra black olives, Taitu. But I am kind of weird. Note that I don't mean, like, sausage meat. I mean hamburger meat. It really does, it tastes completely different. They do, Zoan! You're right. I mean, that would be crazy if that's actually true. And, yeah, it fits really, really well.
Good day to you.
Slowly but surely we'll pick away at the Horde's numbers. They won't have a leg to stand on when this war really opens up. Remember, Theramore hasn't happened by this point in history.
Have a good one.
I can see the explosions from here. The Horde won't be refueling from Merkfellen anymore, thanks to you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Peace be with you.
Blasted Horde. I've got friends in that grove. Hopefully you know how to ride a hippogriff. We've got to get you there immediately.
Go in peace.
There are dozens of students at Thaldera Grove. Most of them have no means of defending themselves from the slaughter. You must get word to Master Thaldera of the Horde's plans. He will direct you on what you must do next. Fiora Moonsore has granted you use of her fastest hippogriff.
Farewell.
Well, let's frickin' go then. Stop talking to me. Hey.
The
Now.
moon be with you. May the stars guide you.
But she's
The
not...
loon light your path.
Oh, duh. I'm stupid. Oh, no.
Hello. Safe travels.
Well, it's funny you ask that, Last Echo, because, you're not... What's about to happen is really, really unpleasant. Unfortunately, it looks like we're having a bug for some reason. Oh, right. The reload UE problem.
Right, thank you for reminding me that that's a thing. See, I haven't really encountered that until doing this. I can spell, I swear.
Feel free to browse. Asha Fela.
Oh, still nothing.
Ishnu Daldieb.
Hey there. See you later.
Whatever. I had a brother on Tarsonis. I'm sorry, but that's... StarCraft 2, I know I get blasted for this a lot, but I love StarCraft 2's story for its heavy, heavy character focus and character development. And one of my favorite tiny little lines is that one line. I had a brother on Tarsonis. That just hits me every time I hear that. To see, literally watch a man as his entire world crumbles down right in front of his face. It's just crazy. Also, thank you, Taicho, for your kind words. Taitu, I was in the alpha, if that counts.
Hello, Brigven. Have you given thought to my proposal?
So, as you can see, the Horde are already assaulting this area. Goddamn Horde. There are a few days when I am ashamed to call myself a Horde, but this is about to be one of them. There was a Goblin War Machine, by which I mean a Lumber Machine. Might as well be the same thing though, right? Yes, Night Forger. Many, many legal documents. And they're all ash, so it's basically just piles of ash. Or is that a euphemism nowadays? I'm not up with the young kids slang. Of course I am. I was just asked if I'll be watching the Warcraft movie, and I see no reason not to. If absolutely for no other reason than because the fact that I need to see if it's any good or not. We're actually going to be doing Alliance first for the full impact of these.
How may I help?
These are dire times indeed, Leaf Song. Our outpost in Stonetalon Peak has been overrun by fiendish creatures from the depths, and the Horde seeks to destroy us. We need a hero, a soldier of the Alliance strong enough to guide us through these trying times. My poor defenseless students are stranded at the Thaldera Grove. With the battle raging across the Battlescar Valley, they have no means of escaping. We must save the children before the Horde drops their bomb. Take my hippogriff. Use it to rescue the young druids.
Till next we meet.
I can do that. Actually, Malaeus,
What
yes, I
brings you
can.
here?
Legitimately. And I will, as it happens. Because there's no way I won't be talking about that on the show.
Hello.
So.
Alone light your path. I am honored. Be careful.
Oh, right. There we go. Bzz. Hey, look, flying in vanilla. Whee. Am I interested in the Total War Warhammer game? No. The reason why is because it's Warhammer, not Warhammer 40k. If it was Warhammer 40k, I'd be super interested. But it's not. So, you know. The end. Stop panicking! Stop panicking. Stop panicking. I am no hero. I have to actually be at the Hippogriff Station. Fine, fine. Night Forger, stop panicking. Ugh. I personally do think Warlords of Draenor is good, yes. It is still what I would refer to as a net positive. See, I would be tied to if there was actually a single-player campaign mode. which to my knowledge there is not. Feel free to correct me on that. It's the kind of thing that would probably be fun for like a few minutes, and then I would abandon it because it doesn't have, yeah. Exactly, Takoida. There's no orcs in Total War yet. There needs to be orcs. Stop panicking. Goddamn druids. It's almost as though they have no combat experience and no realities of war, and they don't understand how terrible and horrifying that their life is. Ah! Excellent, Taitu. Well then, yes, my interest has just jumped up significantly, because I've seen gameplay videos of it, and it looked pretty awesome. You know, the funny thing is, I've actually pondered for a while where the fiction of the Night Elf superweapon came from. And the thing is, it would be easy to write it off as if the general was just making it up. Like, he literally just wanted an excuse to bomb the druids. But A, that's incredibly stupid, even for an orc general under Hellscream. And B, he never sounds like he's making it up, you know what I mean? He never sounds like, you know, usually there's the ways that they are written so that you can tell that they're just making it up or they're just doing it for their own, you know, ends or means or whatever. But instead, like, he genuinely is like, no, we must destroy them because they have this super weapon. But what super weapon? Is he referring to the tree itself? The Emerald Dream, maybe? I mean, I don't know. Of course, it's also possible that this is just another example of the tragedy of misinformation. Because here's the thing. Using the bomb on that target is stupid. Militarily, you want to use it on this target. Right here. This is what you want to attack. Not that. So from, like, every angle, this entire act doesn't actually make sense. But anyways.
Greetings.
I praise you, Leaf Song. The hero we have been searching for has finally arrived, and not a moment too soon. The Horde have signaled a retreat. Look now. They pull from the field of battle. It portends of a disaster. We must make one final descent into the grove. I cannot live with myself if any of our young druids are left behind. Assist me, hero. I will take the reins. Well, actually, we're not going to do that
friend.
just yet. I love this going back and forth thing. This is actually working out pretty well.
Zug zug.
Chieftain Cliffwalker and his Tauren seek to commit treason against the Horde. They claim the ancient tree at the heart of Battlescar Valley is merely a school for druids. They are blind to the fact that desperate measures are taken during war. My scouts have assured me the Night Elves hide a weapon of great power in that tree. We're going to end this now. I will allow this old fool time to plead his case. He has assured me he will bring back proof the Night Elves do not harbor a weapon of mass destruction. We shall see. While we await this proof, you will assist our army in the valley. We have prepared a large number of siege tanks for this purpose. Our demolishers are poised for the attack. Take the elevator down to the base and use it to lay waste to our enemies.
Abu.
Probably not, Taitu, in all honesty. Yeah, other side. Although the idea of a super weapon wasn't exactly new, but man, World War II really popularized it, didn't it? Of course, a huge amount of our culture, especially our fictional culture, was, at least here in the States, was influenced by World War II. And I'm not even talking about the obvious stuff.
For the Horde.
Oh, sorry, Pandaren.
For the Horde.
Pretty much, yeah, Zawan. They're really... there's probably a few scraggling Magkar left. You know, Magkar who aren't stupid. And, of course, the, in Warlords, there's the, the Stormwolf, or the Frostwolves. But yeah. That is true, Tekoida. Tekoida brings up something I hadn't considered. It is entirely possible that the Twilight's Hammer is the one who planted the information about the bomb. In fact, knowing how the Twilight's Hammer operate, they could literally have put some kind of arcane bomb or super weapon or whatever in the Night Elf base for the orcs to find. You know? Because it's the Twilight's Hammer. I mean, I hate to say this once again, but they're literally the reason the war was started. They tricked both sides into it. So, yeah. It is definitely in their best interest to make things worse. Yeah. That's another good point. The scouts themselves could easily be Twilight's Hammer infiltrators. Yeah, there's a bunch of options here for the Twilight's Hammer manipulating the situation. This is an extremely volatile, extremely violent situation with a lot of zealots and a lot of warmongers. That's a really, really terrible situation for people actually thinking, you know, logically and reasonably. If it makes you feel any better, Last Echo, by the time we get to Pandaria, we will much more definitively be playing the good guys. In fact, by the time we get to the end of the Cataclysm stuff, we will. Right now, what we're doing is we're building up our characters, well, building up our character in general, story-wise, and we're also kind of experiencing why the world is a mess. We need to establish, writing-wise, why the world is a mess, so that when we get to the later stuff, we explain why it is we're trying to fix everything. If that makes sense. So bear with it, Last Echo. I beg you. I mean, yeah. What's about to happen is probably the overall most devastating impact of the war between the Horde and the Alliance. Not the cruelest, not the most vile or terrible, just the most devastating.
Speak.
You possess quite a talent for destruction. Whatever alliance remain after your rampage across the Battlescar will be dealt with by the bomb.
Strength. Ah, I've been expecting you.
At the heart of the Battlescar Valley stands an ancient tree. A tree that has withstood the force of ages and has served as a place of learning and peace for generations. My kin have studied druidism in the grove, alongside the Night Elves, for as long as I can recall. Now I am to believe the tree holds an alliance weapon of mass destruction. Cromgar is wrong, and I will prove it. I have sent my own son, Orthus, to the grove. Go there and meet him.
Be careful.
Hello, Mind Blast. So this is not actually my favorite questline in the new World 1 to 60 Cata stuff, but it is a lot of people's, and it's kind of understandable why. This whole quest chain really resonated with a lot of people. This entire arc that has been going from Ashenvale until here. It's a shame that bad writing brought about one part of it. But we'll talk about that later. Moonkin... What are Moonkin kitties? What are Moonkin kitties? Deathwing... Deathwing was a victim of the Titans, and then a victim of the Old Gods. Not that I'm saying his actions are understandable. He is a fairly unpleasant individual. But, I do have a lot of pity for Naltharion, if you know what I mean. I love this idea, by the way. So I'm on approach to a druid grove that's under attack in this giant mech, like, I'm coming to save you. Do not fear. Stop, 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 stop. It is kind of interesting the Horde are actively not attacking the grove, even though the grove is effectively undefended. I only mention that because, you know, that's logical. Again, this is not a military target. These are not even their enemies. I don't want to use his scale as a shield either, but I don't have a choice on that, do I? Orthus is dead. He's clutching something in his hands. Druid corpses litter the floor. Something seems amiss. You see no signs of a struggle. Bloody drag marks lead in from the doorway. You pry Orthus's death grip open to find something disturbing. A Cromgar general's insignia. Yeah. No, I couldn't, psychotic. A truly unpleasant individual. In theaters, May 9th. So I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, it was Cromgar. No, I still think this is actually the Twilight's Hammer. Now, the more I think about that, the more that actually makes sense. This is literally their grade A modus operandi, exactly how they operate kind of situation here. Then again, it could just be the general. Who knows? You be the judge. So, hang on. Would that make the Lich King your brain on Ogar? Ogar means death, if you're not aware. Well, we've seen that there are a lot of false flag operations in Warcraft. And it's almost funny, because this is a setting where it's actually surprisingly easy to see through a false flag operation. Because we literally have magic. We have the ability to talk to the dead. We can actually see the truth of what's going on in several different circumstances in this setting. And yet most people don't bother to. They just see that and they're like, ah, death to the other side.
Hail.
My child is dead?
Winds be at your back.
He was a good boy, Ironman. Young, loving. He would have never killed any of the young druids. They were his friends. The general must be called to answer for this crime. I will have justice.
We shall meet again.
Masha, go to your tent and hide yourself away. I will not leave you. Do not forget I am the huntress in this family. Just whisper it, third, because I can't. I basically can't turn it off. General, come out from your tent and face me. Foolish old Tauren, you dare display such disrespect. What is the meaning of this interruption? Did you lose this, General? My insignia! Yes, I did lose it! Where'd you find it, Tauren? Ironman found it. Okay. Of the corpse of my only child, you miserable son of a pig. Your boy was weak and spineless, just like his father. And for you, Ironman, disappointing. You are a disgrace to the Horde. Oh, you're frickin' dead. That was for my son. I forgot about the laugh. That was definitely him. He's just a frickin' idiot.
He's just a mindless, stupid idiot. God damn! That is a really, really stupid orc. I've totally forgot about the reaction.
How may I aid you?
You saw with our own eyes. General Gribo attacked us. Now what will we do? Surely the war chief will have us all executed for treason. Perhaps if you spoke to Overlord Cromgar, maybe he would listen to what you have to say. You are a champion in his army, after all. You saw everything. Please help us. We just want to be left alone in peace.
Go in peace.
Yeah, I was remembering his whole, yeah, where did you find it, you know, kind of a thing, and then
Goodbye.
not the whole, oh, yes, you're... So I want to re-stress just, so for those of you not really getting how stupid this general is, he took a willing ally and murdered the son of his willing ally in order to provoke an attack on a non-military target that he wasn't attacking anyways. For no benefit. He's trying to destroy it, not conquer it. I don't even have words. That's like some... That's... Okay, that's like, say, there's a United States general, and we're allies with Canada or something, whatever. And so, we're like, we must wipe out Britain. Just London. London Central, you know, which if you've ever been to London is a ton of civilians. And so, you know, and then the Canadians like, well, hang on. Seriously, why are we doing this? And the US general's like, no, we must wipe out London for some freaking reason. I can't even come up with a reason. We must wipe out London because they've got nukes in there. Okay, well, I'll go. And so he murders the Canadian who was sent to look into it, just so he has the excuse to attack a non... And by the way, during this situation, to really highlight this, we're actually at peace with London and Britain in general. But we're actually at war with Russia. So we want to bomb London in our war with Russia. That's how mind-bogglingly stupid that is. I don't know, actually, Tattoo.
Makra!
What? My general has been killed by the Tauren? This is treason! High treason they will pay! You have done well to report this crime. The perpetrators of this heinous act will be punished. There will be blood. I need a new general now that Grebo is dead. You will take that place. Meet me at Quiffwalker Post. Together, we will end this nonsense.
For the Horde!
Oops.
Blood and thunder go with honor.
It's just... I'm getting a bit of a headache by how stupid that is. At least the Twilight's Hammer thing made perfect sense, you know? At least then he's just a warmongering orc, not a blindingly, stupidly idiot orc. Oh my... you know, Zimwan Joker, it sounds like we betrayed the Tauren, which is just ludicrous, especially given what's about to happen. I still find it more believable. And this is not me defending the Horde, by the way. I just find it more believable that that orc was actually a Twilight agent, or was manipulated by the Twilight, rather than being just one of the dumbest. He is so stupid. Garrosh looks at him as like, whoa, dude. You know? That's how stupid that guy was. If he wasn't manipulated or influenced, or again, was a Twilight agent. Because, oh my god. By the way, this is a Tauren outpost that is now on fire because the Horde... Yeah, there's the woman. She's dead. So now that you've seen just how bad this particular tragedy is unfolding... This was always a Tauren post, by the way. This is not new. This was not made for the war effort.
can I assist you?
Oh god, wouldn't that be funny? He was equipped with Serenite. There's the bomb, by the way. And... we're too late. The grove is destroyed. And with it our hopes and dreams. The Horde will pay for this atrocity. Hellscream must answer for this crime.
Elune be with you.
Do you know why the Horde destroys? The Horde destroys because they cannot comprehend beauty. They fear it, and that which they fear they must destroy. Why else would they destroy the grove? Together we will make them understand. They will know what they do comes at great cost. We must attempt to establish communication with Farwatcher Glen to the south. Our glaives are at your disposal. Use them to cut a swath through the Horde forces and clear a path to the Glen.
Goddess, watch over you.
I was gonna say that... oh crap, I don't have flying! Hi. I'm not even sure where I am. Yeah, that we were a little bit too close given the blast radius of that bomb. That was apparently that really devastated. You know, ironically, that is actually super in character right there. That is super in character. We have just failed at salvage. Look at this. Look at this devastation. I mean, seriously, look at that mess. Very well designed by Blizzard, I might add. The trees being knocked back is a nice touch. But, and what did that accomplish? This is a straight-up Malik situation right here. This is straight up. This is the kind of thing Malik would be like,
Yes, I'm glad you have destroyed those helpless innocents who had nothing to do with anything. I'm glad you wasted years of resources just to do that.
well, not years, I'm exaggerating. But seriously, think about how much time, effort, and resources were put into this massive, amazing, super bomb, and they dropped it on a civilian target. Anyways, we're going to switch back to the other side really quick. I do kind of wish that 20-second logout didn't exist for these purposes, but whatever. What are you doing? Why are you attacking your own allies?
Trollhall.
The traitorous Tauren will now stand by as we destroy his precious grove and burn his village to the ground. Stand by me and watch as our mighty weapon destroys our enemy. Learn what it means to be Horde.
The quest objective for this, and I have to admit, I find this a really ironic twist because of what's about to happen. The quest objective here is learn what it means to be Horde.
Farewell. Watch now, Cliffwalker, as this battle comes to its glorious conclusion.
You are about to cross a terrible threshold, Cromgar. May the Earth Mother have mercy on your soul.
I don't think that was Mark Hamill. I'm not sure, though. He does... Yeah, he sounds just as evil as he is, doesn't he? No kidding, Burmese.
Look upon the world, Cliffwalker, and see the might of the Horde.
What have you done, Kromgar?
Notice Garrosh's troops are killing the Kromgar troops. Right there.
War Chief! I was carrying out your command!
My command? Was my command to murder innocents, Kromgar?
War Chief! Sir, I...
Am I a murderer, Kromgar?
Yes, you are.
No! War Chief!
Then I ask you again, what have you done? I sent you into Stonetalon Mountains with an army. Your orders were to secure this land for the Horde. Instead, you laid waste to the land, murdered innocents, children even. I spent a very long time in Northrend, Kromgar. I learned much about the Horde in that time. While there, a wise old war hero told me something that I would carry with me forever. Honor, Kromgar. No matter how dire the battle, never forsake it. Overlord Kromgar, you have disgraced the Horde. You have brought shame to us as a people. By my right as War Chief, I hereby relieve you of duty. You are dismissed! And you...
Pandar.
Wait, War Chief! Please! This is the hero responsible for uncovering this corruption. This one tried to stop Kromgar. Have mercy, War Chief. Mercy? Your wife and child were murdered. Your kin wiped out. Your home burned to the ground. Mercy. Chieftain, on this day, I learn from you. Kromgar's army is no more. Your rank no longer has meaning. If you wish to truly help the Horde, your considerable power could be used in Desolis or in the Southern Barrens. The choice is yours to make. Let honor guide you. Do not forget that Hellscream's eyes are always upon you.
How?
Now you truly know what it means to be a member of the Horde.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Ah,
What brings you here?
there is nothing left for you here. As for me, I must lay Masha's body to rest. Once I have done that, I will go to the bombing site and begin the process of regrowth. Perhaps one day a new grove will bloom, a grove infused with the spirit of my child and the fallen Night Elf youths. If you wish to travel to Desolus, I hear word of a blood elf named Furion seeking adventuring partners. Maybe you could seek him out. Farewell, friend. I will never forget you.
Walk with the Earth Mother.
So based on that, I don't think we actually betrayed him, personally. That's just my take on that. Because, yeah. So, time to discuss something. I have actually explained Garrosh's actions there
Well
several
met.
times, because it's a rather common topic of discussion,
May
and how they make sense with regards to his character arc. And they do. The catch is, I was apparently giving them too much credit. The reality is that, in fact, it was just a mess. It was just a mix-up.
The original story arc that was originally designed for Garrosh was for him to have a redemption story arc. That he was actually going to turn himself around and become a better person as a result of that, and actually grow into becoming a decent war chief. However, as they discussed this, and even the original writer of Garrosh agrees, that wasn't really the best path to take story-wise. They needed Garrosh to be the butcherer and the murderer, and they really needed him to serve that function in order to unify the rest of the Horde, and to really serve as a contrast to Thrall, and as the setup for the new war chief. Because remember, Thrall was too peaceful, but they needed someone to be too warlike so they could show why someone who was strong, but not a warmonger, but not a weakling, was actually what the Horde really needed, right? So Garrosh's character arc was supposed to go this way. Problem is, there was some miscommunication during the thing. So that actual scene was written with the redemption story arc in mind. And then, yeah. Now, I agree. There are too many redemption arcs in this game in general, and I'm okay with Garrosh not being redeemed. In fact, I was really hoping he would not get redeemed. And thank God for that. Vol'jin is the current war chief. Oh, sorry if I ginger. I am over 30. But, yeah. I just... I still stand by my statement that those actions still make sense when you actually take into account his overall character arc of weakness and the fact that he has nothing of himself. The very idea that Garrosh would blindly cling to something that was his own sense of honor, I like that. I like the idea that he would be like, no, the Horde is a good, wonderful, honorable thing. We would never do horrible things. And then, yeah, the fact that he gets worse from that point on actually makes a great deal of sense to me as he gets more and more brutal and cares less and less about anything other than, you know, following in his father's footsteps. Vol'jin's run as the war chief hasn't really changed much, to be completely honest. The only thing we've seen with regards to Vol'jin's rulership is that he has managed to maintain an interesting military alliance of mutual defense, is actually, like in civilization terms. He has a mutual defense pact with the alliance, but that's about all we know that Vol'jin's done as ruler. So it does still fit, and I still stand by my statements that it fits, but I wanted to be 100% honest about the fact that it wasn't intended to fit. As we've already discussed, Cairn was already beating the snot out of Garrosh until, you know, everything went to hell. Meanwhile, the Night Elves are understandably extremely pissed about what just happened. And non-aggression, I actually agree, a non-aggression pact kind of fits more with what's going on there. Although, from what I understand about Legion, that's going to be more of a military alliance situation, a mutual defense thing. Death to the Horde! Butchering bastards. Also, maybe it's just me, but partially as a result of the voice acting, I am now like 100% convinced. Well, that's a lie. I'm like 90% convinced that Kromgar was actually a Twilight Cultist agent. I mean, holy crap. That was... Or not Kromgar, excuse me, not Kromgar, the General. Not, although Kromgar might have been as well. I mean, holy crap. Just, wow, you know? As much as I fully believe that there are orcs who are that stupid and violent in Garrosh's new horde. I mean, we do know Malkarok is part of that horde, after all. It just makes too much sense story-wise. Correct, Darker. It just makes too much sense story-wise for that to have been Twilight manipulation. It exactly fits what they've already been doing, and we know they've already been doing. And it perfectly lines up for where their particular motives and operations are going. It perfectly fits everything they've been trying to accomplish, you know? So, that's just my take on it. But again, it is possible he was just a stupidly evil orc. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I was actually really pissed off that Garen died in general. I liked Cairn, damn it. I mean, I get it, end of the old. That could be Nero's house. As has been proven many, many times, if you want to manipulate or affect or influence a given party, like an organization, you, straight out of a Transformers episode. But Megatron! I can't do the voice. I can't do that voice. Anyways, the easiest way to control an organization is not to infiltrate it with thousands and thousands of agents, just to infiltrate it with one agent. And just make them very well positioned. Also, can I have this as a mount? Like, I want this mount. Can we make that happen? Can we do that? Because that sounds kind of awesome to me.
We've been walled up for far too long.
I've tried to explain to Salisbury time and time again, there's no possible way I could transform him into a worgen. He refuses to listen, and has instead convinced himself that if he gains my trust, I will let him in on the secret. Gnomes are very strange. We witnessed the detonation of the bomb. Terrible, terrible destruction. Farwatcher Glen, for better for worse, is still intact, but we've nowhere to run. Told that before the Great Upheaval, the Charred Vale was a valley, closed off to the sea. One that was merely... Actually, hang on. Is this...
Farewell.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do these quests right now.
Any friend agreeing is a friend of mine.
I will not comment on what I think is going to happen with Varian, or anyone else for that matter in Legion. I'm told before the Great Upheaval in the Charred Valley was a valley, closed off to the sea. One merely has to look off to the south to see that the Charred Vale is no longer a valley, and has in fact become a great area of volcanic activity. Salisbury here has configured a device that allows us to ascend the volcano. Use it to get to the top, assist the readings.
That's enough gabbing for me today.
I've received a disturbing message from Nigel's Point in Desolus. It seems there's a great upheaval that's created some new problems for them that they're ill-equipped to handle. Well, I won't be doing that yet.
By a common enemy.
Good day to you.
Good day, citizen. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Salisbury, soon to be known as the world's first Gnomegen. So, Malik has assured me that as soon as my work here is complete, he will grant me the gift of the worgen. So, with that introduction out of the way, I have a request. Within the Charred Vale south of here roam newly created fire elementals. I desperately need a rare, blazing heart of the fire from one of the fiends. Get it for me, and you bring me one step closer to becoming a Gnomegen.
Alrighty then.
Ah, new arrival. Good you're here at last. The pups are hungry and we're completely out of food. Thankfully, they love dragon meat. What does dragon taste like? Also, dragons are sentient, sapient beings. Like, I'm okay with eating, like, everything else, but dragons? Seriously? Dragons. We're literally eating people. Well, we started at the beginning, Lofty. We started with the Night Elf, or excuse me, Blood Elf, and Draenei Starter Zones, and then we moved on to Vanilla, sort of. And then we moved on to BC, and then we moved on to Northrend. Feral dragons. So, you know what? No, I can't. No, that's just kind of gross.
I know they're black dragons, and, you know, we all hate black dragons, but seriously? There is a term in fiction called Eater of Other Sentience. It's usually used in place of cannibalism, because cannibalism refers to eating your own species. But Eaters of Other Sentience are usually considered bad. They will be going up to YouTube in a few weeks, I think, at this point. Yeah. So, eventually. Well, it's interesting you say that, Raskar, because Raytheon was a whelp. Hell, is a whelp, actually, as of now. So, I mean... Yep, we are officially hunting the dragon equivalent of veal. Or, maybe it's not veal. I forget what it's called. Kid meat. I know there's a term for that. You know, this whole area was not exactly pleasant and vanilla either, but wow. It did not take the Cataclysm well, did it? Well, don't forget, even though Raytheon is only 2, that's 2 in dragon years. Kind of. Anyways. Oh, yeah. I can do it in cat form.
I say, you there, Leaf Song? It could appear you're near the center of a dragon's lair. Be very careful, Leaf Song. You don't want to rouse the black dragon. And look around you. There's a nest. It must be nearby. Search the premises for eggs and destroy any assay. Return to me should you find or destroy those eggs. Goldrin watch over you. That would be nice, Brigwin. Unlikely. Nice. Also, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head of dragons eating people in Warcraft. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just can't think of any specific examples. Damn it. Oh, wow, they really... Look at that, there's the ocean, and the steam being generated. Damn. Oh, that's true, Onyxia. So, one of the most twisted, horrible, evil dragons of all time might eat people. That does not surprise me. Also one of the stupidest dragons of all time, for that matter. No, Darchmaster, no, it's fine, it's fine. Don't stress. Drop rates. Yeah, I know I just had to mention drop rates, and it would suddenly, spontaneously, magically drop. What, don't you move around like this? Alright, up the mountain. Ah, crap. I can't use it here. No! I'm trapped! Oh, fine. I won't rocket jump my way up the mountain. Sigh, ruining all my fun. Yeah, but Onyxia, I mean, you probably weren't here for my discussion on Onyxia, but she is just really, really not. She is incredibly blunt and non-subtle and non-long-term thinking and non-anything, really. And what's funny is the whole time she
touts herself as being this wonderfully intelligent person. I tried, Zawan. I tried. Okay. Yes, Onyxia is a sledgehammer. Nefarian was brilliant. I mean, he actually made Chromatus, don't forget. But, yeah, not Chromagus, Chromatus, the one from the book. It tells me that the Scourge are doomed, Darker. Along with the rest of the world. Okay. Where's the... There he is. I know, Darker. Which is a shame. He sounds like an awesome fight. All the powers of all the aspects, or all the flights, combined. At the same time. Separately. That's just... Hurry! The pups are hungry. Yay! And now the pups are fed. Excuse me. Excuse me. I haven't been sleeping well lately.
Greetings.
Have you recovered the blazing heart of fire? Excellent. This will allow me to finish off my task and hopefully gain the form of a wolf. Ow!
Off and away.
So that's an interesting question, Zawan Joker. Here's an interesting answer. Not counting the Night Elves, how many Worgen are not human? I'm afraid we may have another really dumb situation where the Worgen curse can only be spread to certain races. Just like the whole dumb situation with how Sylvanas can only raise certain... Or excuse me, the Valkyr under Sylvanas could only raise certain races as undead. I hope that's not true, because that's dumb. But whatever.
Ain't you a chipper-looking one?
Amazing success. Maybe only a minor victory against the brood of Deathwing, but a victory nonetheless. Oh, is that? Oh, it's cloth, though. Damn.
You wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry.
Okay. Well, after all that fun and joy, I think it's time we go ahead and hit the Northern Barrens. What do you guys think? I shouldn't have even done these.
I am honored. Good luck, friend.
Death Knight Worgens are still human, don't forget. Oh, you're asking how it works. My bad. I thought you were pointing it out. There's a nice view of the flaming death here. There's the old Vale, and the entrance to Desolus, for that matter. Yep, time for our last War Arc zone. That's a lie. Our last War Arc zone in Kalimdor. From after we finish this, it'll be back to much more neutral territory. Yeah. There's a scene in one of the books, I think? Or maybe it's one of the... Oh, no, it's in the game, my bad. Where Bane basically says, look, I'd really love to support you right now, Vol'jin, but my people are tenuously clinging to anything. We may not be able to actually openly support you without risking destruction. And Vol'jin's like, but I need Tauren arms. And Bane's like, yeah. So welcome to the new Desolus, which has green and life and plants. Which is a good thing to have in a place called Desolus. Hey, Tetris. Actually, they're not immune to the Scourge spawn. They're just immune to the Valkyr. Because the Lich King, the second Lich King especially, could raise basically anything as undead. Sylvanas and the Valkyr could raise much, much less as undead. Now, I agree with the Valkyr and Sylvanas being weaker than, you know, the Lich King. I totally get that. And the Worgen Curse being an effective defense against that, I was with. The fact that she could only raise humans, or maybe elves, that I didn't like, but whatever. Yes, we will, Darker, absolutely. But for now, unfortunately, we are actually not doing Desolus.
We're heading to the North Barrens. It's time to finish up the war between the Alliance and the Horde. Which also means I'm going to pause here for the local recording, so that we do these zone by zone. So...